Hare Krishna. My name is Deva Madhavadas, and this is a brief introductory video to the art and practice of chanting Hare Krishna. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a very simple Sanskrit mantra containing only 3 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, Sanskrit is the ancient language of the Vedas. Vedas, meaning knowledge in Sanskrit, are the oldest philosophical and spiritual texts in the world. And certainly the most famous of the Vedas is the Bhagavad Gita. And so here in the Bhagavad Gita, it's explained that the mind is either our best friend or our worst enemy. There's really no in between. So it behooves us to really make sure that the mind is on our side as quickly as possible. So that's actually the purpose of this chanting Hare Krishna. It relieves the mind of its anxieties and allows us to elevate ourselves to a higher state of consciousness. So this word mantra literally means to control the mind with vibration. And this idea of controlling the mind with vibration is certainly not foreign to any of us. Most people who've been out on a Friday night, they like to listen to a certain type of music. Similarly, when we're studying, we like to listen to a certain type of music, or when we're having an intimate dinner with friends, or when we're on a long road trip. Each one of these situations has a certain mood that we want to put ourselves in. And so we listen to a certain vibration, a certain type of music to bring that out. So similarly, the recommended way in the Vedas to bring our mind to a place of calm, peace, serenity, and harmony with all that is to chant mantras. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the simplest and most effective method for controlling the mind and subduing the mind in this way. So here's a brief shot of the mantra itself. Again, only 3 words, Hare Krishna and Rama. And it's explained that there are no hard and fast rules for chanting. So you can certainly, as much or as little as you would like, take to chanting whenever and wherever you may be. That's why this particular meditation is recommended for this age, is because the typical meditation style of sitting in one place calmly for hours on end is very, very difficult for most of us who are trying to keep up with the world, whether we're taking classes or we have work or we have family, so many different things. So to find time, hours in a day to sit and meditate would be very difficult. But this chanting of Hare Krishna is recommended anywhere. So we can be driving to work, we can be making dinner for the kids, we can be studying, we can be waiting for a class to begin, we can be doing so many things, and still the vibration, the meditation can be there. So that's actually the key, is to simply focus on the vibration itself. And though it sounds simple, you can probably also understand how it can be very difficult, because the mind is always trying to distract us from what we want with what it wants. This is why the mind is either our best friend or our worst enemy, is because the mind is controlled by the senses. The 5 senses are what tell the mind what's going on out there. And quite often the senses are demanding the mind. Tongue says, I want something delicious. And the eyes say, I want something beautiful. And the ears say, I want something sweet sounding. And all these different things, all these different demands are pulling us in so many different directions. So when we learn to calm the mind by not paying attention to the senses so much, then we begin to attain a state of peace and serenity. So that's actually the key. Not that those demands of the tongue and of the eyes and the ears, etc., will go away right away, but that we won't give them so much attention. And so that's what the practice of focusing on the vibration allows us to do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And there's a couple other recommended things to add to our chanting if we want to take it seriously that will help us focus on that vibration. The most important of which is beads. So many practices, Catholicism, Buddhism, Islam, and also this meditation recommended in the Vedas uses beads as a way to help focus the mind. So we use one bead for one mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and then we cycle to the next bead and chant one mantra for each bead all the way around. And on the typical japa mala, as it's called, you'll have 108 beads. And a meditator who's taking themselves seriously and wants to develop the practice will certainly keep track of how much and how long they're meditating, because just like an athlete might want to keep track of laps or how much weight they're lifting or things like that, so also the meditator wants to be able to track their progress and see how much they're advancing. So if you don't have beads, or you don't have beads that you would like to use for this purpose, then we have a very convenient 4 fingers with built-in beads. We have 3 different joints on each finger, and so if we use our thumb, we can use those different joint segments as built-in beads. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and all the way around. We have 12 beads on each hand, and I like to keep track of on this hand how many times I've chanted off 12 Maha Mantras. So if I've done a round of 12, 24, and like that, all the way up. So this is a very easy and built-in way to keep track of how much it is that we're chanting. So you may be asking, how much should I chant? When should I chant? Why should I chant some more? So it's recommended that if we're beginning the process, even only 7 to 10 minutes a day is plenty. If we can be doing 20 or a half hour, even better. But if we can sit in a quiet place for just 7 minutes, especially in the morning, then the chanting is much, much easier before we've gone out into the world and been exposed to all those things that will get the mind riled up. If we can take a few minutes in the morning to sit and chant and focus on the vibration, then it will allow us to live out our day with that mood of being detached from what the senses might be demanding. So some other nice things to try and do while we're meditating is to remove possible distractions like the cell phone or our family or our friends, our roommates. It's nice to just let them know that you're going to have some time for yourself, a few minutes each morning or in the evening or whenever it is that you can find the time, where you're going to be focusing on this meditation, and so you'd rather not be disturbed. It's nice to put the cell phone away, turn it off, at least put it on vibrate for those few minutes. That way you can really be there with only the vibration. So I hope these few tips have helped. Many people have taken to this chanting process over the thousands of years that it's been recommended. Probably most famously George Harrison, the great Beatle, took to this process very sincerely, and it's a testament to the efficacy of this chanting, because obviously he had so much material opulence, very rich, famous, lots and lots and lots of everything that we could want externally. And yet internally he was still very, very, very much unhappy until he was able to take to this process of meditation as it was recommended to him by reading the Bhagavad Gita. So after taking to this process, we too can begin to understand that it's more important to know how to manipulate internally what's going on rather than externally, because externally we don't have so much control, whereas internally all the power is there to be present and to be in control of the mind if we take to the practice of actually learning how to do so. So I hope this video has been of some help. Thank you so much for your time. Hare Krishna.